Dear fellow Africans like me, and those who love Africa as the mother continent, those who are really inspired, preoccupied for the betterness of this continent, I really want to share this topic with you to change for the better the living standard of Africa, to change the ways of thinking in order to help Africa develop itself. I'm one of the people who really believe that humanitarian aid does not help Africa at all. In the opposite, it just maintains it in its poverty. It just maintains Africa on dependency of foreign countries, especially the countries that we call developed countries. The North Global world that since the independence of African countries after the colonization, the relation between the North and the South has been a relation based on who gives and who receives. A political of a donor, the giver land and the receiver land. This was based on bilateral cooperation, the so-called bilateral cooperation, but in reality it was all about the giver land and the receiver land. The giver land is like the boss, the one who has everything, the one who decides the price of minerals, the price of our natural resources, and the one who has to buy on very inequivalent manner or basics. And our share, what we get from it, always was very low. And then what was so clear, these so-called donor countries, the giver lands, they will come with what they call the humanitarian aid to help Africa. They will show us bringing medicines to hospitals, bringing food to the hungry Africa, and show really our poverty and focus especially on the diversity of our forest, the savannas. Now where there's animals, and showing Africa as a continent of tourism, not as a continent of opportunities for development. That's a place where you have to contemplate the really word of another century, not a modern Africa. Africa is a bush. Africa where lives lions, elephants, buffaloes, hippos, crocodiles, antelopes, zebras. Yes, that's Africa they want to perpetuate forever for their tourism purposes. But Africans, we claim cooperation on equal basis with the West. with the so-called developed countries. We want a technology exchange. We have young engineers. We have really a young population that is ready to push Africa to take off and fly for its own development and to emerge as a really new continent of opportunities. But unfortunately, the problem is that Africa will never have that chance, because there are always big powers that are operating behind the darkness to hold Africa back. And this needs to change. All what Africans demand, it's a cooperation, technology exchange, fighting corruption, Africa to build its own strong institutions, not to build up strong men. Africa to modernize itself, to have that possibility to emerge like other countries in Asia, as we are seeing in Middle East, like Dubai, like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and far in Asia, like Chinese, like countries like Japan, South Korea. Why does not Africa get that possibility, that change, that possibility to change and to emerge? Because we have everything. If we think about the resources, Africa has all kinds of resources. It might be maybe the richest continent in the world. We have all the minerals that the world needs for new renewable energies. Like for example, Congo itself, that holds around more than 60 or 70% of world reserve of this cobalt and other minerals that are the basics for the energy, for building these electrical cars and other devices. But Congo remains as one of the poorest country in the world. Can you really imagine that? We have many countries that have a strong potential to develop Africa, but the problem is that we always been blocked so we can fly with our own wings. So Africa should stand and emerge. And before to emerge, before to develop ourselves, we have to really change from within our mentally, the slavery mentality, the depending mentality of wanting every time the other power from abroad to come and help us. We don't want help, we want cooperation. As I said, we want technology exchange. We want cooperation on equal basis. That's all what we want. But Africans, they have to make a really strong revolution in how they are thinking about leadership, how really they think to emerge as a new power in this century, to promote education, to promote and defend the basic rights of human rights, to develop our social pillars that make Africa more stable, like building schools, hospitals, building roads, develop the agriculture and other things, and really reform our institutions to be really strong and modern institutions, and reduce bureaucracy across Africa and make business so easier for everybody. I think this will impact positively Africa, and Africa will be regarded, will be considered like a new emerging continent, and will deal with other big superpowers with the respect and the consideration. I thank you.